Hi everyone, my name is Katrina Walser from Oliphant, and I am a knitting teacher and designer based in Sydney in Australia. I'm here today with a tutorial on how to change colours in the middle of a row. So the proper knitting term for this is Intarsia. So if you ever come across that term, you'll know what it means now. So go grab your knitting and let's get started. So here I have a row of knitting in two different colours. Now I've worked up to the point where I need to change colours, and if I was to just let this strand drop and start working with the strand here, I'd actually end up with two separate pieces of knitting. So what you want to do is you actually twist the strands together. So the way that you do that is when you go to work the first stitch, make sure you grab the yarn under the old strand. So instead of just starting to work like this, pull from underneath the old strand and let this sit over the top of it. And that's all there is to it. So you just start working with the new strand of yarn, and the old strand is essentially trapped in the first stitch of the new strand. Now, the tension can be a little bit funky here, so just make sure that when you've done a couple of stitches, pull on this until it looks like it's about the same as the rest of the stitches. So that's what it looks like to do the twist on the wrong side. So I'm just going to work up until the same point on the right side, and I'll show you what it looks like there. Okay, so I'm coming up to the colour change on the right side. So here we are. Now, because we were on the wrong side last time, the twist was at the front of the work, and now because we're on the right side, the twist is going to be in the back. But other than that, it's exactly the same process. So let me just turn to the back so I can show you. So when you're done with the first colour, the yarn should look like this. So just make sure when you're picking up this strand, don't just pick it up, reach under the old strand and pull it up. And now just to try and help with the tensioning issues, tug this a little tightly before you start, then knit the first couple of stitches. It can be helpful to pull these a little tightly too, not too tight, just make sure that they're a little snug. And then grab the old yarn and pull it until the tension looks about the same. So I will admit that the tension is something I'm still working on. It looks pretty good here now, but when I did start, so if I show you the other half of the blanket where they were different colours, it's quite obvious that the stitches are a bit looser around the colour change than they were everywhere else. So just be careful with that. Try and keep it even. You don't have to tug it like you've got some sort of death grip on it, but just tug it until it's tight enough that the tension looks the same all the way down the row on your needles. The other thing I want to show you quickly, just as a warning, is what happens if you don't twist your yarn around itself. So you get little holes. It's pretty obvious if you stretch it out, but not so obvious at the front. But if you look in the back, you can tell that it's very different. So this is where I forgot to twist my yarn around itself. And unlike most mistakes in knitting, this one is really hard to fix without frogging all the way back to the place where you made the mistake. So really just try and remember to twist the yarn around itself every single time. I think I'm going to come back when I'm done and just use some spare yarn to try and fix the hole up a little bit. So that's it. If you want to give it a go, this pattern is actually a really good pattern to practice on. It's called the 4-Way Stop Baby Blanket, and I will link to it down below. There are 4 colours, but you only ever use 2 colours at once, and there's only 1 colour change every row. So it's a really good pattern to practice your Intarsia twists on. If you do give the Intarsia a shot, please let me know how you go in the comments, because I'd really like to know how it's going for everybody. And if you found this video helpful, please hit the like button down below because it'll help other people find it as well. And if you're looking for more tutorials, there's a whole playlist of them right here. But other than that, I'm going to keep knitting on this blanket. Happy knitting!